Hello, welcome to another video. I'm Paul. This is the second video I've done in quick succession. You probably noticed I don't have the games room that I used to film in, so at the moment just up in the bedroom, trying not to make it look like a hostage video, anything like that. Even though at the moment I am just sat on like a stool. So basically, there's been quite a lot of 30th anniversaries of games magazines this year, with it being like 1993. It was like the sort of heady days still of the 16-bit era. You had new technologies coming out as well, as we were starting to get a bit close to things like, CDI, 3DO and stuff like that. So there just seemed to be new games magazines popping up all the time. Now, the one I'm going to be discussing today started end of 1992. So the only reason I'm still covering this is because I just think this period of a magazine was a really good read, loads in it, really thick issues, and it is going to be GamesMaster. I'm mainly covering it as well because only recently I've just completed the first 12 issues again. For the first time in years. So just to show what I mean, like nowadays, again, looking on a Pixel Addict and Amiga Addict, it's hard enough getting 60 pages together, but I don't know how we used to do this. I mean, there are 12 issues here, so this is quite a lot of reading material. These early issues, you could, well, spend some serious time going through them. Obviously back then they've had loads and loads of adverts. I remember speaking to Marcus Dyson for Amiga Addict, and he was always saying the amount of adverts that got put into Amiga format, the adverts that went into Amiga format when he was editor. Sometimes it'd be a case of, right, we've got more advertising space that we need to allocate, so yeah, you just need to move something out and get these in. And obviously it's just a totally different time, the internet killed all that, but now, like we said so many times on Twitter, etc., and again in things like Retro Gamer, when we spoke to them, this sort of like print renaissance has come back a bit, which is absolutely fantastic to see, because there's not that many magazines on the high street shelves anymore. We're lucky that Pixel Addict and Amiga Addict are in the high street as well. And just while I'm at it, it's crazy to see it, in Australia and things like that. But anyway, I'm going to be doing a video looking back at issue 1 of Edge, because in a few weeks' time, that will hit 30 years, 30 calendar years, which is crazy because I remember the hype for Edge. But again, I'll touch on that down the line. So basically, with GamesMaster, the last one I needed to fill the first year was issue 7, which Mark Jowett from Sega Mags helped me out with. But we're going to go back 30 years today, and we're going to look at this one. So this is issue 8, and again, this is a time where gaming was on the cusp of changing. You've still got Sega, Nintendo, Amiga, heavily featured. So obviously this was in the shops July to August 1993. Exciting times, because Mortal Kombat's about to come out, and as a teenager then, I mean, what? So I was 13, 13 then. So obviously blood, the guts, the violence, it's all you ever wanted as a teenager. Absolutely fantastic. We played the game in the arcades and stuff. So just have a quick look, and I'll just show anything which is, stand out, looking back at some of the stories, because I've said before, some of the best things about these old magazines is seeing how things played out. It's looking at this is gonna be the next big thing, and then it just bombs, or some things don't come out at all. It's crazy to think about it. But just mentioning it, we've got a little story there next to Jim Douglas, the editor, looking at Edge, just a very little quick snippet. So it's saying that Edge is obviously a new magazine. Where was it? I'm just trying to get the actual date. I think it said the 19th of August when I saw an advert for it. Um, so yeah, like I say, it's coming up to almost 30 years since it launched, and obviously it's still going today, which is absolutely fantastic achievement, definitely, because GamesMaster no longer going. That ended in 2018, which is still 5 years ago, and quite surprising. So anyway, let's have a quick look through a few things, and then I'm not keeping you all the time. So this one always sticks out for me, this advert here for Woolies. Two games that I do like, although I do prefer the Mega Drive version of Alien 3. But with Royal Rumble, now at the time I was really into wrestling. All the time you wanted to WrestleFest, if you're into wrestling, that is, because the Amiga wrestling games, you know, like European Rampage and things, were no good. But the Super Nintendo, the Mega Drive wrestling games by LGN, they were all right. It was just quite limited, you know, worlds apart from what we have nowadays, you know, with the entrances and things like that. But I remember my mate buying this for 60 quid, and we played it quite a bit. You know, we added a few new features to it, you know, changed up the roster and stuff like that, but it's still very cookie cutter, you know, like a lot of the same moves for each wrestler and stuff like that. But it's just obviously a sign of the time, so I'm only pointing that out because so much has changed in 30 years. You know, we've recently had the AEW game, we've had, you know, the WWE games having ups and downs. Anyway, let's carry on and just try and get to reviews, because I don't want to obviously be going on about an issue for too long. So this is actually quite well timed, obviously, because it's an anniversary. So we've got a look at Jurassic Park. So again, Jurassic Park at this time, absolutely huge, still popular today as well. And I'm only pointing this out is because Limited Run Games have recently announced, Strictly Limited. Anyway, they've announced, you know, like one of the limited run of physical reissues of the Jurassic Park games for NES, Game Boy, and SNES. You know, like it's a triple pack. And I remember getting the Game Boy one, and I was just absolutely awful at it, you know. And again, same friend who bought Royal Rumble also bought Jurassic Park on the SNES, which stood out because of, you know, things like the first person view of going into the tunnels and things like that. Again, always got good reviews, so it's just, you know, that's again about to hit its 30th anniversary, and it just sounds crazy. I mean, I think that's just it. When you sort of like look through some issues like this, you're like, wow, where has 3 decades gone? Now, this one is a fighting game special, and we're starting off with one of my favourites, Final Fight CD on the Mega CD. So just loads of featured games and screenshots back then. You know, quite easy to look at and everything like that. A lot of box outs and stuff. They only gave it 70% though, which really surprised me, because at the time that was the best version of Final Fight you could get, you know, on the home consoles. And it's definitely like one of the killer apps for the Mega CD or Sega CD, depending where you are. So it took quite a long time to, you know, get better versions, you know, like on many of the Capcom compilations. Game I never bothered about, World Heroes 2. I know it's got its fans, the World Heroes series, but back then it was all about Street Fighter 2 or Mortal Kombat. In my eyes, everything else was just playing catch up. So we gave that on 93% on Neo Geo, the console which I always dreamed about owning. Sadly, never ever did, even when money was a bit better as an adult. And then we have got a face-to-face Mortal Kombat review, and it is Mega Drive against Super Nintendo. I think with the first Mortal Kombat game, it's easy to say that a Mega Drive version is better. It had the blood, it didn't have green goo or sweat, as you know, Super Nintendo owners were told. And again, it had a lot more violence to it, you know, while Nintendo at the time was still a lot more family friendly and a bit more funny about things like that. It's surprising now looking back, because obviously Nintendo have actually changed with the times. I'm not saying you're going to get like full on gore and stuff, but I feel like on the Nintendo consoles now you do get a wide range of things, you know, like back in the 16-bit era, hardly anything, full of violence, was really heavily featured. I know you got games like Doom and stuff, but they just never seem to be shouted about quite as much. But anyway, we've gone over that about a million times. So we've not actually given this a full-on rating. I mean, they've rated it generally at, just move that in a little bit, 92%, and then they've basically given each version its own rating. Like the Mega Drive Violence 10, but on Super Nintendo it got 8. So ratings for violence, presentation, characters, special moves, things like that, because quite a few things on the SNES version were changed by Mortal Kombat 2. They've obviously seen the error of their ways and improved a few things there. Next up, another fighting game, not too bad. Ratings about right. Final Fight 2. So again, as just said, I love Final Fight. Final Fight 2 isn't too bad. Super Nintendo exclusive. Didn't get an arcade conversion. They've given it 75%, which is about right, really. Again, I love my Scrum beat 'em ups. I still play them now. Bang on about them quite a bit in Pixel Addict and stuff. Like I reviewed the most recent Turtles game, that Shredder's Revenge and stuff, and really enjoyed it. So just going to carry on. So here we have got the review pages. Again, back then, lots and lots of reviews, loads of well-known faces as well from either GamesMaster Magazine or freelancing from others. Something which obviously, as I've been doing all the magazine interviews, I got to know more about, more of the insight to them actually wanting the freelance work, and turning up on other magazines. First review though, originally out on the Amiga, we have got Super Turrican. So Turrican has actually had modern re-releases, for the Switch, things like that, Turrican compilations. Absolutely awful at them now, really, really am. Now, I don't know if that's because back as an Amiga or an ST owner, I obviously played a few cracked versions, with infinite lives, invincibility, all the weapons, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, I just think they're absolutely insane, the amount of stuff going on, on screen. But they gave about 90%. But next up is one of my all-time favourite games, and something I do want to write about. In Pixel Addict, we have got Shadowrun on the Super Nintendo, a game that I mentioned so often. It's just like, again, this version exclusive to the SNES. I've given it 86%. Personally, a little low, but I'm a bit biased because it is one of my favourites. Again, we're talking like set in the world of hacking in the future. You've got hiring mercenaries to come and help you go on different missions and stuff like that. I absolutely love it. It's a game I try to play every year or so, and it's still like in the all-time top 10 games for any system, really. So yeah, it's good to see obviously that given quite a lot of space. Next up, another futuristic game. We have got Syndicate on the Amiga. Yes, it is now 30 years old. And the Amiga version was absolutely brilliant. Not something I've played since it came out, so going back now 30 years more or less since I last played it. That's the review by Les Ellis, and they're giving it 89%. Now, I mentioned this in the latest Amiga Addict because the SNES version was a lot more cartoony, big sprites, everything like that. It just looked a bit strange, whereas the Amiga version had that grittiness, and again, play with the mouse and everything. Anyway, I'm going to carry on. We have got Bubsy the Bobcat, one of the games I absolutely hate. Got 71%, probably about right to be fair. I just don't like it. It was just too fast. Find yourself running off a screen, running into something, and just very, very frustrating. And then, again, Mega Drive this time covered, Splatterhouse 3. Not a great review here. Basically, this is on the Mega Drive, 68%. But the thing is, with Splatterhouse, being a horror fan, you see Rick, the main guy, you see his hockey mask and you're thinking, brilliant, Jason Voorhees, it's got the gore, it's got the monsters, it's got the weapons, and I just absolutely love playing it. You know, mainly the second one on Mega Drive. I don't think I played the third one too much. But I also remember playing it in arcades. I was absolutely awful at it. You know, you're seeing just all sorts of creatures on the screen, and you know, on the arcade version at least, I found myself putting money in quite quickly. I think it'd have been better off just sticking to things like Final Fight. We have got another Amiga game, Gold. So this is one I've never actually played because back then, this is just as we're starting to get to all football management games. Also, you had the Kickoff series and you have Sensible Soccer series as well, but they gave it 87% by Trenton Webb. So it's not too bad, really. I'm not going to go through every single review. This is one, again, I've not played, but really I should do. Maybe this could be a good one for to experience it this time for Amiga Addict. It is Yo Joe. So when I hear that, I think of G.I. Joe, the toys and the cartoon. They gave it 85%. Now, obviously, the Amiga's got so many platform games, some better than others. But yeah, this one actually sounds okay. Done by Hudson Soft. Yeah, 85% is not bad at all. Definitely a recommendation. And then we have got another football game. This is Striker on the SNES. They did bring out the World Cup Striker version the summer after. In time for the World Cup, amazingly. So that got 82%. Striker's not too bad. It's a game that I own because it's still relatively cheap to pick up, because I've said so many times the SNES games now for cost is absolutely through the roof, really is. This will obviously date it a little bit. TSB Bank advert here with Bill and Ted. So you want to get some, cinema vouchers, things like that. Sign up to a young person's account. So yeah, what would you say to a cash card and discount cinema tickets? Bogus, not. So yeah, I'm not going to do the impression, but I think it does show, the era of the time. Right, and the Amiga game again, never even, I don't recognise this one at all, called War in the Gulf. 81%. So this is what I mean. The Amiga's really popular still. It's still got another couple of years commercially. Well, probably about another 18 months. There's something that I've just touched on in the latest piece. What else have we got? We have got Asterix and Ishar. So that's the Game Boy Asterix and Ishar on Amiga. So again, another Amiga review. Quite a few Amiga games for multi-format magazine, definitely. And then we've also got competition to win a Mega Drive and Mega CD, courtesy of Discos, I think it says. Yep, Discos. Extra tangy, spicy sauce flavour. So yeah, not a bad prize at all. Now, I always love seeing these because this is a plug for other future magazines. Some of these which I actually bought. So here we've got in the top corner Amiga Format, one I've actually got in my collection. Over there, we've also got, is that PC Format? PC Format with David Tentacle. Never ever bought that one. ST Format with Lemmings 2, actually did buy that issue. Superplay, ended up buying that issue as well. Amiga Power, I very rarely bought, as I said before. Total with Asterix I bought because there was a Game Boy owner. And Mega I never used to buy. And Sega Power, again, the odd issue. Usually became with stickers or a poster, easiest way by the free gifts. So yeah, so with that one on the Sega Power, you got free tips and lips. Oh, anyway, postcards, whatever that is, and then as shown in past Amiga Addict features, Silica with loads and loads of different Amiga bundles for you to price up and see what's out there. to see if there's anything massive that jumps out in the player's guides. We've got things like Jungle Strike and stuff like that. Again, these always came in handy back in the day. You know, if it's an Alien 3 map as well, something that really does come in handy, because that one, it gets quite hard, and you know, because you're on a time limit as well to rescue all the prisoners. So we've just mentioned it a little bit earlier. We've got a few tips for Royal Rumble on the SNES, I think that version is, or Mega Drive version as well. Got an advert for Super Play again, artwork there by the brilliant Will Overton, and then again just a few tips, consultation chamber, you know, and things like that, and then yeah, that's it really. A lot in it, you know. I mean, that's not even one of the thickest ones. 116 pages, so it's not bad at all. Some of those issues are like 150 pages. But anyway, that's it really. Just wanted to have a quick one-off video really, taking a you know, look back 30 years ago. I should maybe do a couple more of these if requested, either looking at specific Amiga magazines or you know, Sega mag, whatever. I do try to keep them to anniversaries. Yeah, it was just nice to get the old magazines out, and yeah, get back to work now, and then we can get you the next Amiga Addict and Pixel Addict magazines to you next month. Yeah, God, as we soon enter August. Thanks a lot for watching and listening, and hopefully see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.